Hello, my name is Robert Rextra. This is my Milestone 2 demonstration. Here's my index page, a welcoming statement to my website. For the different elements of the header, navigation bar, and footer, I separated them into different EGS files and used the include function to inject them to my templates. We can see that in my file here. That's consistent throughout all my view pages. Next, here's my contact. I used a form in case somebody wanted to contact me. My about statement describing the mission of the website. And then here is my saved connections. It's static. We're supposed to be updating it later on a different milestone. And here's my connections list. This is dynamic. Depending on if I use a form to insert a new connection, it'll update. Here's the logic for that. So if we look over at my route, I reference a global variable database that I created in my app.js file, and then I pass it through the render function along with my template and the actual database class. So once we're in the EGS file, I can use for loop and traverse through the array, taking each connection and printing out the name. And then in the URL link, I save the index number. And if we take a look here, we actually click on one. The URL changes to O. That's because it's an array index 0. And then squad updates to 1. And so yeah, this is also a template. It's dynamic. We can take a look at the logic here. So if we look at the cluster route, it uses the global variable DB. Again, it calls the get cluster or the get connection method. And up here on line 4, you can see where I save the number, the index number, as one of the field variables server ID. So I pass that as an argument. If we take a look at my database class, the get tribe and get cluster returns that specific connection. So once we're at the connection template, I can use the connection that I want to view on that page. And then I have my forms. I decided to use two different forms because I didn't want to figure out the back-end logic to have a drop-down menu depending on what type of connection I wanted to include, because both connections have different fields that made the most sense for my application. I'll do a demonstration of adding a new connection page for the cluster. Just random variables. Now all this jargon is related to the game that I'm playing. This is a website for a game. Just a generic photo. Upload. Routes me to the index page. I check the list, and you can see that it is showing the new connection. I click awesome. That's just an in-game screenshot. So here's all the fields that I selected, and it works for the same thing. I'm not going to go as in-depth for this one. Choose the same picture, upload, and we can see here that it was uploaded here. I think I covered everything. All of the connections are hard-coded. We can see that my database class decided to do an object as opposed to a JSON file. I just created hard-coded arrays with each of the fields. It's pretty fun working on this. Alright, thank you guys so much. I'll see you for Milestone 2.